20 years after a millionaire saved a homeless mother and her twins, an amazing secret was revealed. The neighborhood bustled with life, but the stories that echoed from the buildings were often tales of struggle. Sarah Moore emerged every morning with the sun, battling the weight of her past. 20 years ago, she was lost, desperate, homeless with her twin boys, Ethan and Noah, clinging to her with innocent eyes. Just when hope seemed to fade, a man in a tailored suit appeared. Mr. Thompson, a wealthy businessman whose unexpected kindness offered her a lifeline. He gifted Sarah not just a home but a path into a brighter future. Now, as she stood before her boys, her heart swelled with pride. Ethan and Noah, who had grown into promising young men, were raised on the values of hard work and the importance of supporting others. They understood the grit it took to survive, and they knew they had each other. The street they lived on was tough, yet vibrant, filled with the laughter of children playing and the shouts of vendors selling their wares. Sarah reminded them every day that community was vital. But today felt different. The local community center, an anchor for so many, was at risk of closing due to budget cuts. Sarah's heart raced. Memories of the center flooded back: their first dance class, the laughter during summer camps, the friends made over time. This wasn't just a building, it was a lifeline. "Mom, we have to do something," Ethan exclaimed, his voice trembling with urgency. Noah nodded in agreement, his brow furrowed and determination etched across his face. Sarah took a deep breath, her chest tight. She knew exactly what they needed to do. It was time to rally the neighborhood, to ignite hope in the hearts of those who had fought and struggled together through a lifetime of hardship. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue with that. She resolved to gather the families, the fighters, the resilient souls of her neighborhood. They met in the very community center that was at risk of being shuttered. Voices erupted in unity, each story echoing the struggles they shared: the elderly couple fighting for their home, the single father raising twins like her, the mothers working double shifts to put food on the table. As they stepped forth to share, memories intertwined, laughter mixed with tears, creating a tapestry of perseverance and spirit. Just as tensions began to ease, a whisper floated through the crowd: Mr. Thompson might have been funding the center all along, keeping it alive from the shadows. Shock rippled through Sarah and her sons. Gratitude mingled with resentment swirled in her chest. How had they never known this? As the community pondered, the atmosphere grew charged with anticipation, binding the people closer together. They fought their battles together, but now they faced an unexpected revelation that threatened their sense of self-worth. With uncertain eyes, they gathered around Sarah, waiting for guidance. What would it mean to honor their benefactor? Would their pride withstand the weight of this revelation? As she stood up to address them, the moment hung heavy in the air. Sarah could feel it: the collective hope, the shared dreams, and the looming question that remained unanswered: could they save their center, their home? Sarah glanced around the room, her heart racing. The faces staring back at her were filled with concern, hope, and just a hint of fear. "We have a choice to make," she began, her voice steady but laced with emotion. "Mr. Thompson has supported us in ways we didn't even know. We can either let this revelation push us apart or use it to strengthen our community." Ethan's hand shot up. "But why didn't he tell us? Why keep it a secret?" Noah chimed in, "Or maybe he thought we wouldn't accept help if we knew. Like we wouldn't be worthy of it." The crowd murmured in agreement, the tension palpable. Sarah took a breath, trying to calm her racing thoughts. Maybe it's not about the help itself but what we do with it. We have a chance to honor him, to show our community's resilience. Her words hung in the air, and the collective energy shifted slightly. Sarah focused on the older couples who had been sitting quietly in the back, the same ones who had shared their stories of losing their homes, their money drained by unexpected medical bills. We've all been facing our own struggles, and we know the value of hard work, of loyalty to one another. Now, let us put that into action. As she spoke, the stories of the past few hours began to weave together into a powerful tapestry of resolve. People nodded, inspired by the memories they shared, and soon, voices began to rise, each one a piece of the whole. An elderly woman told of her late husband who had volunteered at the center, teaching children how to paint. A single father spoke of his daughter's first dance recital and how it had given her confidence she carried to this day. Each story built on the last, transforming the space into a whirlwind of memories and ideas. What if we organize a fundraiser? Ethan suggested, his earlier hesitation melted away. We can host events, maybe a talent show, a bake sale, anything that draws people in. Noah added, and let us not just raise money, let us raise awareness. We can tell Mr. Thompson's story and ours. We are worth fighting for. A wave of enthusiasm swept through the crowd, and slowly, hands began to rise in support. Ideas flowed freely now: an art auction, a neighborhood yard sale, even a community barbecue. This wasn't just an effort for the center, it was about rebuilding their community and rediscovering their shared spirit. As laughter and chatter filled the space, Sarah felt an unexpected warmth surge through her. The fear of losing everything was slowly being replaced with a sensation of hope. They weren't just fighting for a building, they were fighting for each other. But as the weight of the new plans settled over them, Sarah couldn't shake the growing unease about Mr. Thompson. Do we even know him? She whispered to herself, unconsciously drawing Ethan and Noah closer. She knew only vaguely of the man who had initially changed their lives. He had become a faceless benefactor in their success. What did he want from them, if anything? As the evening wore on and laughter filled the room, Sarah stared at the crowd. She felt a profound connection but also lingering questions about her past, the man who had once saved her. Would the revelation change their lives again? She had to know more. The air of determination hung like fog, but buried beneath was a stirring doubt. Was honoring Mr. Thompson truly the path forward? And what truths might await them just around the corner as they embarked on this mission to save their second home? The excitement hummed around her, yet a thread of apprehension lingered. As ideas flowed and laughter rang, a single thought pierced through the excitement: what if the truth about Mr. Thompson would bring more than just healing? What if it held the key to understanding the lives they had built? Would they be ready to face whatever shadows of the past awaited them? The next morning, Sarah awoke with a mixture of hope and anxiety swirling in her chest. She sat up, sunlight streaming through her window and illuminating the packet of papers that had been placed on her desk by Mr. Thompson's lawyer. She recalled the conversation she had had the night before, the energy and spirit of the community ringing in her ears. With resolve, she grabbed the envelope. What if the truth inside was the key to unlocking something deeper? Her fingers trembled as she opened it, revealing official documents and a heartfelt letter. Her heart raced as she read through the pages, her mind racing alongside her pulse. Mr. Thompson had left specific instructions for the community, an open invitation to learn about his past, his motivations, and the true reason he had chosen to support them all those years ago. The letter detailed plans for a community gathering at the center later that week. Sarah couldn't believe it, a chance to finally meet him face to face. She felt a mix of excitement and apprehension. What would he say? What did he want from them? Did he see them the same way they saw him? Determined to uncover the truth, she rushed to her phone and called Ethan and Noah. They needed to know. As she shared the news, their enthusiasm was contagious. They quickly arranged for a meeting at the center, their minds buzzing with questions and hopes. When they met later that evening, the energy was electric. Ethan walked in, his eyes bright with ideas. What if we prepare a welcome for him? Show him that we appreciate everything he has done, even if we didn't know the whole story. Noah nodded, enthusiasm bubbling over. Let us create a time capsule. We can fill it with letters, photos, and messages from everyone in the community. Something that tells him how much this place means to us, how much he means to us. Sarah could feel the excitement building. She could already envision the event: music, laughter, stories shared. It was an opportunity to not just honor Mr. Thompson but also to bring together every soul who had been touched by their center. Each person mattered in a way they were only beginning to realize. As they brainstormed ideas, laughter filled the room. It felt like a second family, each one of them contributing their heart to the cause. But with each joy-filled moment came the nagging questions in Sarah's mind. What if Mr. Thompson didn't want to be known? What if their curiosity only pushed him further away? Later that night, as Sarah lay in bed, sleep eluded her. She stared at the ceiling, her thoughts racing. What was she really reaching for, truth or acceptance? The stakes felt higher than ever, and she wondered if uncovering Mr. Thompson's secrets would bind them closer together or unravel the very fabric of what they had built. In the days leading up to the reveal, whispers of the upcoming event spread through the community. Excitement mingled with tension, and Sarah couldn't shake the feeling that something monumental was on the verge of happening. Would the truth be liberating or devastating? As the night of the gathering approached, Sarah found herself standing outside the center, heart pounding in her chest, surrounded by her neighbors, each one eager for answers. Just then, the sound of a car engine broke the murmurs, and headlights illuminated the lot. All eyes turned, breaths held tight. What would Mr. Thompson's arrival mean for them? Would the answers be worth the build-up, or would they uncover shadows they weren't ready to confront? The moment of truth arrived. As the car glided to a halt, a hush fell over the crowd. People shifted anxiously on their feet, eyes glued to the vehicle. The headlights cast long shadows, dancing along the cracked pavement. Sarah felt the tension in the air like a live wire, crackling and almost painful in its intensity. The driver's door swung open, and Mr. Thompson stepped out. He looked the same yet different, the years adding a touch of grey to his hair while not diminishing the warmth in his smile. She felt an exhilarating rush of emotions flood through her: gratitude, curiosity, and an indescribable fear. He took a moment to absorb the field unfolding before him, a sea of familiar faces and stories intertwined. As he approached, people began to shift forward nervously, eager yet apprehensive to confront the man who had unknowingly changed their lives. Thank you all for coming, his voice was steady, resonating through the night air. This gathering means more to me than you can imagine. Sarah's heart thumped louder with every passing second. She studied his face, searching for hints of the man behind the legacy he had left. There was sincerity in his eyes, warmth that made her feel seen and valued. She wondered what secrets had been brewing behind that calm demeanor. Let us get to it, then, Mr. Thompson continued, glancing back at his car. He pulled out a weathered box, the kind that seemed to hold countless stories within. I want to share something important with you all tonight. Noah leaned in closer to Sarah, whispering, "What do you think it could be?" She shook her head, completely uncertain yet captivated. He placed the box on a table that had been set up near the center. With purposeful fingers, he pried it open, revealing an assortment of items, the kind of items that spoke of a life brimming with untold tales. An old video camera, a collection of photographs, and a stack of neatly wrapped notes. I've kept these for years, he began, his eyes misty. Each represents a moment, a memory connected to the community here. And I think it's high time you all knew how important you've been not just to me, but to countless others. Murmurs of curiosity rippled through the crowd. People leaned in, captivated by the unfolding mystery, the promise of understanding that had drawn them all here. Mr. Thompson lifted a photograph, holding it toward the group. This was taken long before any of you knew me. It was my first community event, and the faces here, they inspired me to keep giving. He went through the images, telling stories, recounting how those moments had fueled his desire to uplift the center and its people. As he spoke, Sarah felt an unexpected swell of emotion. Each story dripped with humility and gratitude, painting Mr. Thompson as not just a benefactor but as one deeply intertwined with their lives. Yet beneath his words, Sarah sensed something was amiss. There seemed to be a deeper connection, something he was holding back, an undercurrent of fear or regret. What could it be? Just then, he paused, his gaze piercing through the crowd, locking onto Sarah S. And now, there is something more I need to reveal. Something that has haunted me for years. Her breath caught, heart racing. The shadows that hung in the air seemed to stretch longer, wrapping around them like a thick fog, heavy with unanswered questions. What would he uncover? What secret could be so powerful it had remained hidden for so long? The room was silent, anticipation hanging like a thread. She realized that the answers could change everything, not just for her, but for everyone gathered here. Mr. Thompson took a deep breath, preparing to unveil the truth that had bound him to them all along. Would they be ready for it? Would it shatter the image they had built in their minds? And as his voice steadied, Sarah braced herself for the revelation that would change everything. What was the truth? Would it draw them together or tear them apart? Mr. Thompson's voice broke through the heavy silence. You see, he began, his hand trembling slightly as he reached for a particular photograph, there are ties here that run deeper than many of you may realize. This isn't just about community support. It's about family. The crowd stirred, awkward whispers passing from one person to another. Sarah felt her pulse quicken, a strange depth to his words gnawing at her as if they were pulling at some hidden thread in her own story. Years ago, Mr. Thompson continued, his gaze drifting to the photo in his hands, I met a young woman, a mother, who was down on her luck. She had twins, and she was fighting battles that would put most people to despair. His voice cracked with emotion. That woman was, your mother, Sarah. Shock washed over her. The words felt surreal, like the plot of a movie she wasn't prepared to watch. Her mother? A mother she had lost in memories blurred by time. A sudden murmur spread through the crowd. Eyes darted between Sarah and Mr. Thompson, uncertainty writ large on every face. Noah's hand gripped Sarah's shoulder, squeezing lightly, grounding her amidst the whirlwind of revelations. Yes, Mr. Thompson affirmed, his gaze steadied on her. Your mother was scared and alone, and I promised her that she would never have to face life without a safety net again. I didn't just help her, I became a part of her story. Her heart thudded painfully against her ribcage. A wave of conflicting emotions crashed over her, astonishment, anger, and a profound ache of longing for a connection that had slipped through her fingers like grains of sand. And those twins, he added, a slight tremor now visible in his voice, they grew up strong and brilliant. You are one of them, Sarah. Her throat tightened. Why didn't you tell me? Why didn't I know? The words burst from her, laced with the urgency of years lost. I didn't want to intrude on your life, he sighed, brushing a hand across the back of his neck. But I've watched from a distance, hoping one day you would seek the truth. And now, with everything out on the table, I couldn't keep it from you any longer. People in the crowd began to react, their expressions a mix of empathy, confusion, and support. They had gathered to hear Mr. Thompson's stories, but what unfolded felt like more than just revelations about charity. It was carving open wounds no one knew they had. Your mother wanted to shield you from a past filled with shame, he explained gently. But in doing so, she gave up the chance for you to cherish her spirit. His voice softened as he continued, she was proud of you, Sarah. She believed in you every step of the way. A lump formed in her throat as tears prickled her eyes. She missed a mother she hardly knew, yet felt a bond growing stronger every moment. But all of this. Sarah motioned toward the gathered people. What happens now? Mr. Thompson smiled sadly, a glimmer of hope in his eyes. Now, you can choose to embrace this connection to understand your past and use it as fuel for your future. But it's up to you, Sarah. Her heart raced again, not just from the revelation but from the overwhelming possibility that lay ahead. She felt a shift in the air, a new chapter poised to unfold, carrying with it both responsibility and courage. But was she ready to face her mother's story head-on, reclaiming the pieces that had been lost? As her thoughts stormed within her, Mr. Thompson took a step closer. And there's one more thing, something I've never revealed until now. It's about your mother's legacy and a promise I made. The crowd was quiet, waiting. Sarah held her breath, curiosity intertwining with dread. What more could he possibly unveil? What twist awaited her as she stood on the precipice of her past? A promise I made, Mr. Thompson repeated, the intensity of his gaze piercing through the soft chatter of the audience. He could feel the weight of their anticipation, a mix of hope and dread hanging thick in the air. Your mother, Sarah, didn't just struggle on her own. She fought to keep you two together, through everything. But she also made a promise to me, one that has echoed ever since. He paused, letting the crowd settle further into silence. She vowed that if she ever found her feet again, she would give back to the world she had come from. And she wanted to create something that would help remind others of their worth, even in the shadow of despair. What do you mean? Sarah's voice shook as she leaned closer, urgency dripping from every word. What did she want to create? She dreamed of a shelter, a place where mothers and their children could find safety and strength. A place for second chances, Mr. Thompson revealed, passion igniting his words. It was going to be called Hope's Hearth. But life took its toll, and she wasn't able to see that dream fulfilled. Until now. The revelation began to unfurl its wings around Sarah like a colorful banner, each word sparking tiny embers of hope in her heart. She entrusted me with her vision, Mr. Thompson continued, but I needed someone with her spirit to bring it to life. I always believed that one day, when you were ready, you'd take the reins and make it something extraordinary. Her pulse quickened in sync with a rush of fiery determination. Do you mean, me? Yes, you, Sarah. But alone, you can't make this happen. You'll need help, guidance, and maybe even some healing yourself, he said, his voice steady yet filled with compassion. This isn't just about a project. It's about mending the fabric of your family's story. The crowd behind her began to buzz again, but Sarah could barely hear them. In her mind, a vision started to crystallize, a safe haven where mothers could come, where children could play freely, bolstered by a strong community. But doubt crept in. I'm not an expert. I've never managed anything like that before. That's where we come in, Mr. Thompson said gently. You have everyone here, ready to support you. We believe in your mother's vision and we believe in you. His words thundered in the silence of her mind, igniting a flicker of bravery deep inside. Noah leaned toward her, his voice a quiet reassurance. You're not alone. You have all of us, Sarah. Your mom's story is all of ours now too. A swell of gratitude rushed through her, but it warred with the weight of responsibility. As the realities of potentially stepping into her mother's shoes sank in, fear began to dance with hope, swirling together in a dizzying melody. So, what happens next? Sarah asked, feeling the weight of 1,000 decisions before her. Next, Mr. Thompson replied, you'll need to make a choice. To let her legacy live on. Are you willing to take this step, to find your voice and make Hope's heart a reality? Sarah looked out at the faces of those who had gathered, friends, neighbors, even strangers who were somehow intertwined in her narrative. In their eyes, she saw belief, a mirror reflecting the hope that had taken root in her own heart. Let us do this, she proclaimed, a spark of newfound resolve lighting up her features. Let us bring her dream to life. A wave of applause erupted, the energy in the room shifting dramatically as it turned into a standing ovation. For the first time, Sarah felt like she was standing on solid ground, fueled by a purpose deeper than herself. But as the crowd cheered, an unsettling thought loomed large in her mind. They were all clapping for a dream, but could she truly honor her mother's legacy? Was she ready to confront the shadows that came with such a profound responsibility? As the applause faded, a new, chilling question emerged within her heart. What if confronting her mother's past meant facing her own fears? And that spark of dread would follow her, igniting a journey she never imagined she'd have to take. The applause echoed around her, like a distant wave crashing on a shore filled with hope. Sarah stood there, limbs tingling with a mix of excitement and anxiety. Cheers and claps echoed in her mind, a soundtrack to the avalanche of emotions cascading over her. Yet, amidst the roar, that unsettling doubt kept creeping back. Could she really do this? Sarah. Noah tugged her arm gently, breaking her from her reverie. Hey, you okay? His eyes searched hers, concern etched across his face. You look a bit distant. Yeah, I'm fine, she replied, forcing a smile. But the bright illusion felt fragile. Just thinking about how much this means. Mr. Thompson stepped closer, reading the worry on her face. It's a big step, and it's natural to feel overwhelmed. Remember, it won't just be you. You have a community that is ready to stand by you. Right, she nodded, feeling the warmth of his confidence seep into her. But the shadows of uncertainty were still there, lurking just below the surface. But what if I fail? What if I let everyone down? Failure isn't the end, Sarah, he said gently. It's an opportunity to learn. It's about taking those first steps, no matter how faltering they may be. We've all agreed to support you, and I promise you won't have to walk this path alone. As she took a deep breath, Sarah's heart thudded loudly in her chest. The idea of helping create a haven felt more real now, like a painting coming to life. She could already see mothers sharing stories, kids laughing, and the warmth of connection healing old wounds. But could she truly bring that vision to fruition? Let us meet next week to start planning, Mr. Thompson suggested, his enthusiasm palpable. We'll gather everyone who wants to pitch in. Ideas, resources, whatever it takes. Hope's heart can become a reality. Sarah nodded again, her resolve solidifying. Yes, absolutely. Let us make it happen. As the crowd began to disperse, laughter and chatter filled the air, but Sarah remained still for a moment, lost in thought. Noah stayed close, watching her with a knowing smile. You've got this, Sarah, he said softly. Your mom's dream is part of you now, and it's time to spread those wings. You're stronger than you think. I hope so. She turned to him, vulnerability cracking her facade. But what if my mom's past still casts a shadow? What if I find out things that are too much for me to handle? No matter what happens, you have us. You have me, Noah reassured her. We're in this together. Feeling the warmth of his words wrap around her like a protective cloak, Sarah took one more deep breath. Yet, alongside hope, apprehension still lingered. What if unearthing her mother's past uncovered more pain? What if the ghosts of their family history were still haunting the corners of her heart? Okay, she finally said, more to herself than anyone else. I'll do it. As they walked away, Sarah gazed into the horizon, feeling a mix of excitement and dread. With every step, she felt the first stirrings of hope intertwine with the shadows of fear. Just as they reached the end of the street, a woman approached them, hesitant but intrigued. Excuse me. I couldn't help but overhear about the shelter. I want to help. Her unexpected presence sent a tremble of anticipation down Sarah's spine. Were there more like her, waiting for a chance to connect, to help? Who are you? Sarah asked, drawing nearer. I'm just someone who knows what it's like to be lost, and to find your way back again, the woman replied, determination in her eyes. In that moment, Sarah realized this was only the beginning. What other surprises awaited her in this journey? And how many stories would intertwine with her mother's vision? As the sun began to set, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple, a flicker of possibility ignited within. This new chapter was going to be monumental, both for her and those who would seek refuge at Hope's hearth. But even as excitement bubbled beneath the surface, she couldn't shake the question that was looming larger than ever. Would her mother's unresolved past impact the sanctuary she was about to build? With her heart pounding, she vowed to uncover the truth. The real question lingered, though, quietly taunting her, could she handle what she might discover? Sarah took a step closer to the woman, a mix of curiosity and caution dancing in her chest. What do you mean you want to help? The woman smiled, a flicker of warmth lighting up her expression. I've been where you are. I've struggled, felt lost, and I know how it feels to rebuild. I want to share my own experiences and resources. Your name? Noah asked, probing gently as if trying to establish a deeper connection. Lily, she replied. Lily Jordan. I used to live in a shelter just like you're planning. It didn't just provide a roof over my head, it gave me hope. A chance. I found a community there. As words poured out, Sarah felt a knot in her throat loosen. A community that is exactly what I want Hope's hearth to be. Lily nodded, her eyes sparkling with understanding. And it can be. But it's going to take some hard work. The kind of work that sometimes uncovers painful truths along the way, just like you're fearing about your mom's past. Sarah felt the weight of those words settle over her. Do you think I should dig into her history, then? Lily took a moment, her expression thoughtful. Only if you're ready. But I believe knowing our past, both the good and bad, can help us grow. It shapes who we are and how we can help others. Right. Sarah bit her lip, contemplating. The thought of digging deeper into her mother's life felt like poking at a bruise. It was a necessary discomfort, but the fear of what she might find loomed large. Noah reached for her hand, giving it a reassuring squeeze. You don't have to do it alone. We can dive into this together. You've got me, remember? Yeah, you're right, she replied, emboldened. Lily smiled softly. Then let us start by gathering everyone who wants to contribute. We'll brainstorm, share ideas, and build that community early. You'll see, it'll all start to come together piece by piece. As they began to make plans, the excitement of possibility filled the air. Sarah could almost feel the movements, the laughter of children, the echoing voices of mothers sharing stories. It was as if Hope's heart was already beginning to breathe. But beneath the hope, apprehension lingered like a shadow. What if I learn something that changes everything? What if my mother wasn't the person I thought she was? Lily's gaze softened. Whatever comes to light, you can face it. And remember, people are complicated. Just because someone has fallen doesn't mean they can't rise again. You'll find strength in this journey. Sarah took a deep breath, her heart steadying. Just then, a loud cheer erupted from a group of children playing nearby. The sound filled her with warmth. How do we even begin to organize the first meeting? Noah asked, looking to Sarah for direction. Well, we can start by putting a flyer together for the neighborhood, Sarah suggested, the idea sparking within her. And maybe we can hold the meeting at the town hall next week. It would give everyone a chance to hear about the vision right from the start. Yes, Lily said, excitement radiating from her. This will draw people in. As they spoke, Sarah began to visualize the gathering, a shared mission, a room filled with energy focused on turning dreams into reality. The prospect made her heart race. Maybe she could truly do this. But as night fell and the streetlights flickered on, a chill went through her. Would her mother's past unravel her strength or fortify her resolve? The question weighed heavy on her mind. She looked up at Noah with a newfound determination. We need to talk to my mom's old friends. They might know something worth uncovering. Let us do it, he replied, an encouraging smile on his face. With that, they walked away from the fading sunset, chins up, ready to confront not only the world outside but the hidden pieces of her mother's story. Just as they rounded the corner, Sarah stumbled upon an old, familiar number at the base of a nearby tree, carved into the wood, a distant echo of her past. Wait, she exclaimed, staring at the mark. This is where my mom and I used to come when I was a kid. I had almost forgotten. Noah glanced at the carving, a puzzled look crossing his face. What does it mean? I don't know, Sarah whispered, her heart pounding. But maybe unlocking this memory is the key to everything, or it may lead to something far scarier than I ever expected. With her heart racing, Sarah felt the weight of the truth still waiting to reveal itself. The journey had just begun, but each step grew heavier with unanswered questions. What if she wasn't ready to face what lay ahead? As Sarah stood frozen before the tree, the worn carving seemed to pulse with memories, whispering stories buried deep in her past. She could almost hear her mother's laughter, a sweet melody, now tinged with an ache of longing. Her heart thudded loudly in her chest, almost drowning out everything else, the laughter from the children, the gentle rustle of leaves in the wind. What if there is something more here? She murmured, running her fingers over the familiar number. It felt like a code waiting to be cracked. Noah stepped closer, eyebrows furrowed with concern. Are you okay? We can take a minute if you need. No, I'm fine. I need to remember, she replied, squeezing the tree lightly as if it could guide her memories back. It's just this strange pull, I feel, like there's something important here. Lily joined them, glancing at the carving. That signifies an old place. Many kids came here to play and share stories with their parents. It might have been significant to your mom for a reason. Sarah felt a flicker of warmth. A place for memories, it feels almost like a secret garden. She took a step back, glancing around as night took hold, the shadows growing long. What if there's more to find? Let us dig deeper, Noah said, determination settling into his voice. Tomorrow, we can check out the local archives. See if anything is documented about this area, or your mom's past. It might hold the answers you're looking for. Lily nodded in agreement, her enthusiasm bubbling over. And while you're at it, talk to those old friends. They might share more than you expect. That piqued Sarah's interest but also fed her trepidation. Yeah, what if they tell me things I'm not ready to hear? What if they paint her differently than I remember? The thought coiled around her like a heavy weight. We can't control what their answers will be, Noah reminded her gently. But we can control how we choose to react. Remember, it's all part of the journey. She took a deep breath, feeling the knot in her stomach loosen just a bit. You're right. As they began to walk again, each step felt like a reconciliation with her past. What would it unveil? A mirror of who she thought her mother was. Or perhaps something that could change everything she believed? As they strolled beneath the warm glow of the streetlights, the weight of the night seemed to lessen. Laughter and warmth from neighbors floated into the air, reminding her of the hope that was also present right there, waiting at Hope's hearth. The next morning brought a chilly breeze, matching the flutter of anticipation in her chest. With plans set, Sarah spent breakfast preparing her mind for what lay ahead. She felt a sense of adventure starting to brew inside her. This was not just about finding pieces of her mother's history, it was about forging her own path and establishing the community she dreamed of. After breakfast, she grabbed old photographs of her mother and those they had once shared with, her heart thumping louder with each image flicked by. These snapshots were threads to the past, potentially unraveling connections long buried. As they arrived at the local archives, the air filled with the smell of dusty paper and the promise of forgotten stories. Sarah hesitated at the threshold, her heartbeat echoing in her ears. What if I'm not ready for what we find? She confessed, glancing sideways at Noah. Whatever happens, you're not alone in this, he reassured, placing a steadying hand on her back. Together, they entered, and amidst the rows of books, papers, and histories, she felt the weight of her mother's presence wrap around her like a comforting blanket. But as Sarah perused the shelves, her eyes fell upon a folder marked with her mother's name. It was as if the universe had been guiding her the whole time. A tremor of excitement raced through her, swiftly followed by fear. What truths lay within? With trembling fingers, she slid the file toward her and opened it. The first page revealed a name Sarah had never heard before, a name that chilled her to the bone. Who is this? She whispered, feeling the air grow thick around her. Noah leaned in closer, his breath hitching. What does it say? Suddenly, Sarah felt the past swirling into the present, and uncertainty blurred the lines. Would she emerge from this revelation stronger, or would it drag her deeper into confusion? The answers were within reach, but did she truly want to know? Each page offered secrets waiting to be unveiled, the ink inked with hope and despair. Sarah's heart raced, skimming over the words like a child eager to unwrap a gift. But the deeper she delved, the heavier the burden felt. Pictures of her mother beamed back at her, a haunting beauty captured in time, and alongside them, unfamiliar names and faces flickered like shadows. Who is this? She whispered, her voice trembling as she traced her finger over a stark name she couldn't ignore. It was a name that sent chilly tendrils creeping down her spine, often linked to whispers she had heard as a child. Could this be? Noah leaned closer, eyes wide, catching a glimpse of the document. What does it say? He urged, anxiety threaded into each word. It's someone from her past. Someone connected to a part of her life I didn't know about. There was a suffocating weight in Sarah's chest, a mix of sorrow and confusion. Everything she had known about her mother felt like it was shifting beneath her like sand. Maybe it's not what you think, Noah replied, concern softening his tone. Sometimes past decisions don't define who we become. Taking a deep breath, she focused on the words before her. But this could change everything. What if it impacts Hope's heart? What if we can't build this dream on a foundation of secrets? No, it could just be a part of her story, he insisted, determination flickering in his voice. We need to face her past so we can build a future, but your mother loved you. That matters most. With his words echoing in her mind, Sarah felt a flicker of courage igniting in her heart. You're right. I can't build something beautiful if I don't know the whole story. As they dug deeper, each document filled a gap in the story she thought she understood. It was like piecing together parts of a puzzle she didn't know existed. And with each revelation, the buoy of hope took root amidst the confusion. Several more pages revealed connections to various people, the community her mother wanted to create, the ones who had shaped her life and dreams. "Look!" Sarah exclaimed, a photograph slipping from the folder, revealing a smiling woman. This was her best friend here. They used to volunteer at the center together. A flicker of recognition lit up Noah's eyes. "That's a good sign, right? It shows your mom had support." "I didn't know," Sarah whispered, her heart swelling with love for a woman so vibrant and resilient. "She fought for us, for a better life." "Yes," Noah encouraged. "And she continues to give you strength, even in these documents." Breathless yet resolved, Sarah felt the finality of her discoveries cementing her path. "I need to honor her, to show everyone who she was, the dreamer, the fighter. She wanted Hope's heart for a reason." With renewed focus, she turned her attention back to the stack of papers. Finally, she reached the last page, revealing Mr. Thompson's familiar signature alongside a message addressed directly to Sarah. "I believe in you and the future you can create. Your mother will always be a part of this." It read simple yet immensely profound. Emotions swelled within her, carrying a wave of strength that could drown out any shadow of doubt. "I can do this," Sarah breathed, her sense of purpose ignited once again. "Absolutely," Noah affirmed, grinning from ear to ear. "Now we can build something beautiful together, like she always intended." Stepping out of the archives, the light shimmered in the crisp afternoon air. The sun danced overhead, filling Sarah with a renewed sense of determination. They had uncovered pieces of the past, but more importantly, they had resurrected her mother's legacy woven tightly with hope for the future. But even amidst the excitement, a lingering question fluttered at the back of her mind. Could she confront the pain her mother experienced? As they walked, the vibrant chatter of children playing drifted into their ears, laughter spilling over like a soothing balm. "Think we can gather folks for the first meeting?" Noah asked, his voice cheerful despite the weight of the day's revelations. "Definitely. Everyone deserves to know what we've found," Sarah replied, her heart swelling with gratitude. "And to understand that this community is a reflection of our history is a chance for all to build a brighter future." Noon at the center. Sarah nodded, excitement flooding her veins like adrenaline. "Yes. Let us invite our new friends too. Everyone deserves a place. Hope's heart is just beginning." As they forged ahead, determination radiated from Sarah, bright and unwavering. She was ready to embrace her full story, the struggles, the triumphs, and the sacred legacy of love her mother had left behind. Just then, as laughter rang in the distance and the sunlight kissed her skin, she realized that Hope's heart wasn't just a dream, it was the light of her mother's spirit guiding her, igniting paths of connection and resilience among the community. And she smiled brightly, knowing that despite the shadows, their future held infinite possibilities. As Sarah took her final steps toward Hope's heart, she realized that they were standing on the brink of something monumental, not just for themselves, but for others seeking a sanctuary, a community, a home. The journey was unfolding, embracing every joyful and painful step right alongside the bond they were about to create, under the wings of her mother's enduring spirit. And as night gathered, Sarah looked out over the neighborhood, her heart full of anticipation. This was only the beginning, every question finally leading to their own incredible story filled with love, hope, and unity. But for now, it was time to gather everyone, time to ignite the flame of Hope's heart and blaze a trail toward their future together. Subscribe immediately to the channel so you don't miss the next exclusive stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm. Comment your reactions and feelings about the ending. Share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. This is the moment to show your support. Don't wait not even one more second to share.